Hey everybody, I'm Mike and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Today's quote, "There's nothing stronger than gentleness." In a world of aggression, being pushy, take charge, I don't take anything from anybody kind of attitude. We're in a time known as a cancel culture. So if somebody disagrees or says something you don't agree with, you can cancel them out. And so when we talk about a word like gentleness and a disposition of gentleness, it's kind of an amazing contrast. And I don't know that it is well received. We're afraid of being gentle because we're afraid of being run over or hurt or taken advantage of. I think we misunderstand gentleness. The quote says, "There's nothing stronger than gentleness. The gentle way is the strongest way." Yet we misunderstand gentleness because we think of it as weak, as being wishy-washy or wimpy. Actually, gentleness is a power word, and it reveals great strength through restraint. Gentle is the gentle person is able to remain constant and clear-minded no matter what's going on, and they bring peace and calmness and consistency to any situation. It's sort of like power and strength under control. I used to be a chaplain, and I've been in many homes with law enforcement, people dealing with people and working through their issues or whatever's going on. And a lot of people have dogs, big dogs. And it seems like most dogs are not well trained. As soon as we would enter the home, and obviously it's a major feeling to have law enforcement officers walk in your home, the dogs are jumping and barking and going crazy, sometimes growling. And the owner did not appear to have any control over these dogs, so it was kind of concerning. I learned right away, don't ever sit down if they offer to you take a seat. Don't do it because the dogs are going to be all over you. And I don't know, it was intimidating. But I've also seen people with dogs, big dogs, that the dogs were totally different. They were calm, they were gentle, still big, still strong, still powerful. They could easily hurt you, but they were under control. And it was totally different. And I think we can see that gentleness is not weak. No strength has been lost in these dogs who are trained. It's just under control. And now you get the best out of the dog. What does gentleness look like? We often see gentleness manifested in our dealings with people. When we experience disagreements, heated arguments. Some of the hot topics today are money, parenting, politics, conspiracy theories, and people can get pretty fired up and expressing their side, and it gets kind of crazy. It's interesting because gentleness is being calm and tender without surrender. Radically different approach. And you can see how much strength that takes. Choosing calmness and to come across tender, but you're not surrendering. There's nothing strong about a person who is quick to lose their temper and go off. They might come off intimidating, but they don't have near the strength the gentle person does. You're not giving up your belief. You're not giving up your convictions and you're not losing just because you don't respond with anger. Sometimes we're corrected and we're told that we're doing something wrong. Maybe our boss does it, or maybe our spouse, sometimes a friend. And it's always interesting because when we're corrected, often the tendency is to get defensive. And we can get angry about it, and we're rejecting, cutting them off. But gentleness is being teachable, not unreachable. Teachable, not unreachable. It's really better to receive the correction, to be teachable. Show me the right way. And sometimes they're off base, but and then you're still just being gracious. And when we do this, when we react with being teachable, not unreachable, we'll learn. We put ourselves in a position to be a learner, and we are also growing stronger in character. Sometimes in our relations with people, we are hurt. Our feelings get hurt. We feel rejection, and that's painful. They say cutting remarks, and it hurts us. And our sometimes close friends can betray us. And we usually, when this kind of thing happens, we want to retaliate. We want to hurt them. And if we can't do the same thing, we want to make them feel the same pain. And so we'll make threats or we'll lash out. Jesus in the Bible is a great model of gentleness. And he taught some really radical things. He said to a group of people at one point, it's common among you to say eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, and to deal with conflicts that way. But I say, and he's talking about what he taught in his different way in dealing with people. Turn the other cheek. Don't take people to court and sue them. Love your enemies. Do more than you're required by the law. And these things were radical. They're radical today. But he's trying to present this idea that gentleness is choosing the right action, not just reacting. I can see this being so powerful and yet so hard. And I think also in the mix here, there are times when we need to defend ourselves, protect ourselves. But that doesn't mean every time we're hurt that we have to lash out. Gentleness, choosing the right action, not just reacting. Sometimes when dealing with people, somebody blows it. People mess up all the time. They fall, they fail, they do something inconsistent with who and what they are. Some people break a diet. Some people end up doing something they said they weren't going to do. Stuff like this happens all the time. And our response is often to attack them, to try to deal with them in a harsh way. And if it's something that we totally disagree with, we want to try to cancel them out. Gentleness is gracious, not judgmental. No condemnation. Give people what they need, not what they deserve. That's radical, but it's grace. That's what is at the heart of grace. Gentleness is about helping restore someone who has fallen. Action may need to be taken if somebody falls in a big way. It may need to be taken by people who have responsibility in that person's life, and that's fine. Sometimes justice needs to be administered and people need to pay, and that's fine too. But when we're dealing with gentleness, we're looking at how are we going to treat this person. Gentleness says be gracious, not judgmental. Help restore. So you can see gentleness is not weak at all. If you ever try it, you'll realize how much strength is required to go against your natural reactions and choose the best thing. Choose the gentle way. Gentleness is unbelievably attractive. People are drawn to it. Gentleness is like a magnet. And people just, you'll find if you begin to practice gentleness, you're going to have people around you. Because we want to be treated in a gentle way. Gentleness is free of harshness and sternness, aggressive behavior. It doesn't try to control, manipulate, or overpower people. It isn't critical or condescending. This word comes from the New Testament, which is part 2 of the Bible. And it's a standard given to Christians. And it's a list of traits and virtues that govern how we relate to people. And this is the standard that Christians are expected to live out. This is what's called the fruit of the Spirit. And we want to see this behavior in Christians. And the reason is because it gives evidence of what God's really like. It's kind of powerful. Now, I know many of you are not Christians who listen to this, and I don't want to go too far in that and annoy you, but it's sort of like you get a chance, as I want to look at some of these with you, you begin to see, oh, that's what Christians are supposed to be like. It'll change your perspective and your idea about them, but it'll also help you see when they're blowing it. So I'm cheating a little bit. I'm turning on my fellow Christians because I want you to see what could be if a Christian's really pulling this off. Choosing gentleness does not mean you're a pushover. It means you're using restraint and you're displaying major strength that is going to be helpful, beneficial, make a positive difference. You'll need to acknowledge your feelings. Don't just bury them. Don't act like, oh, that didn't really bother me, because then your feelings will rise up and sabotage what you're trying to do. And you're going to try to not just react, but come up with the best action for each situation. And you want to always be compassionate. These are people we're dealing with, and they really matter. I know it seems like it's never going to work, but I hope you'll give it a shot, because I want you to understand and experience that there's nothing stronger than gentleness. Hey, thanks a lot for listening. I hope this was helpful. And if you liked it, I hope you click like, or if you want to subscribe. I'm trying to do this, put out something every Tuesday, just things to think about. And so you might enjoy being notified. And if you want to share it, I hope you do, because the idea is to share and help people, give them something that will help them get through whatever they're facing. So until next time, I hope you have a great week. Thanks.